brand new Morgan is a rare event, one that's to be savoured by surely anyone who's into cars. So it was an even rarer privilege for me to be invited by Morgan at the end of 2023 to become involved with the development of its new Supersport, which is why I've already spent a fair bit of time driving this car, which is lighter, stiffer, faster and just a whole lot better compared with the Plus 6 it replaces. Beneath its familiar but beautifully redesigned and still handcrafted aluminium bodywork, the Supersport features a brand new platform called CXV, which is at least 10% stiffer than before. Its steering, brakes, suspension, cabin, hood and even its doors have also been comprehensively re-engineered. Only the 335 bhp BMW straight 6 turbo engine and 8-speed ZF gearbox are carried over, and there wasn't a whole lot wrong with either of those to begin with anyway. My involvement with the Supersport's development was small and really not very significant. I helped them finalise the chassis settings, including the fitment of some adjustable nitron dampers and a limited slip diff as part of an options programme. So when I finally got to drive the finished version in Barcelona recently, I was as excited as anyone to find out just what the production version would be like.
So this is it, the finished article. The new Morgan Supersport on sale in final production form, and as you can see from the outside, it looks the business, this car. It really does. They have done such a nice job updating the styling, but also keeping it completely and utterly and obviously distinctive as a Morgan. I think it looks $1 million. It happens to cost just over £100,000, but no, I think it looks $1 million on the road in the flesh. It's quite a small car, but it looks kind of mean and modern and naughty, but at the same time thoroughly distinctive. It could only be from one car company.
The Supersport is powered by a 335 bhp version of BMW's notoriously strong 3-litre straight 6 turbo. Torque is also mighty with 369 pounds-feet, available from just 1250 revs. All out, the Supersport will do 166 miles an hour with the carbon composite hardtop fitted, says Morgan, while 0 to 60 takes less than 4 seconds. So even on paper, it's a seriously quick car.
What I am most keen to find out is what the new Supersport is like to drive in finalised production form on a cracking road like this in northern Spain. All that work that they've done trying to make the dynamics not up there with the 911. No one's going to be naive enough to suggest that they want to take Porsche on head on. But what Morgan want to do with this car, what they say they want to do, and what they got me involved with a little bit to try and help them achieve, is just to create a car, a proper hairy-chested Morgan sports car that is good enough dynamically to appeal to someone who might otherwise buy a 911. They are not going to stand up and say, this is a serious alternative to a Porsche 911. This is a dynamic rival for a Porsche 911, because it isn't, and that's not what they wanted to achieve in the first place. They just wanted to make sure that the performance is up there and good enough, that the way it stops is up there and good enough to stand comparison, to appeal to a Porsche, a would-be Porsche customer, that the steering is now good enough, that the ride and the handling in particular is sharp enough to be good enough to appeal to someone who just thinks, do you know what, I'm kind of bored of Porsche 911s and cars and modern cars of that type. I want something that's different, I want something that looks different, but it's got to meet certain decent standards dynamically. That was the mission statement right from the word go, and I kind of knew they were onto a good thing when I kind of first got involved with them. I've only spent a couple of days with them, just working out damper settings and trying to get a bit of the rubbery movement out of the fundamental platform, which they've done really well. The previous Plus 6 had loads of dive under brakes, loads of squat under acceleration, not very good control front or rear. The steering would kind of load up strangely in the middle of a corner, and then it wouldn't wind any lock off itself. It was quaint, shall we say, but not particularly dynamic or good. This thing though, this has become a properly fast, enjoyable, massively entertaining sports car, I think. The traction it's got is phenomenal, and yet it puts it all through these big 19-inch rear tyres, well, big-ish 19-inch rear tyres, and it just squats a bit. It still squats a bit, but it just kind of hunkers down and goes. It's amazing how much traction this car's got, considering how quick it is.
The Supersport comes either with a mohair hood or a carbon composite hardtop. The hardtop itself looks great in the flesh and can be removed in about 10 minutes, says Morgan. And although it costs an extra $4,000 and does generate a fair bit of wind noise at motorway speeds, it also makes the Supersport stiffer. Quite a lot stiffer, which is nice. Job 1 with the Supersport was to remove as much rubber out of the chassis and suspension as possible. The result is a new aluminium platform called the CXV, which alongside the new rear anti-roll bar and comprehensively re-engineered suspension means less squat and dive under acceleration and brakes, far less lateral movement, much better body control and just sharper dynamics everywhere.
I do like the way it steers now. It's not absolutely bursting with feel, but the steering is very, very accurate. Most of the kickback that the Plus 6 suffered from has been engineered out, which is a really good thing, and it needed to be. And you can place the nose of the new Supersport absolutely where you want it to be through any corner. There isn't really any understeer, and there isn't really any oversteer. You can specify a diff for an extra couple of grand, but I'm not sure this is ever going to be a kind of oversteer monster type of car. It's become actually quite a precision instrument in the way you can unpick a road like this.
Getting the steering and brake feel right were key parts of the development process. So although the steering is 13% faster than before, it's also more compliant, smoother, and reacts less manically to your inputs. Like the brakes, there's less movement required to incite a reaction, but much more feel than in any previous Morgan.
There's a real economy of effort that you can sense and use on the steering, because the steering is quite fast geared, so you don't need to kind of wind low to lock on to guide it. It's very much you're kind of steering it from up here almost, more than you are physically. It's quite nice actually. That's very nice. It's also flipping quick across a road like this. I'm not sure a 911 would get away from this car on this road, not unless it had a GT badge attached to it. That, seriously, genuinely, that is how quick this thing is, how capable it is. So overall, this is quite a difficult one for me to judge, because I have had a teeny bit of involvement in it. So I'm finding it quite difficult to be objective about this car, but subjectively, whether I've had any involvement with it or not, I absolutely love it. And I know I'd love it even if I had no involvement at all, because it's just so different. But what they've done is made all the kind of base points dynamically so much better that, no, if you put it in a head-to-head against the 911, it would get destroyed in pretty much every department, but it's good enough.
So to keep things genuinely neutral and remove my potential bias from this conclusion, I'm simply going to read you the verdict from Dan Prosser's first drive story that appears on the Intercooler app and website today. And so I quote, "This is a car you can drive with commitment on the road. You can hustle it, lean on it, chase it like no other Morgan, without going so hard and fast that you're beginning to take liberties. Morgan set out to build a Morgan for the keenest drivers, and it has done that in some style. It only remains to be seen how many of those keen drivers desire a Morgan of any sort in the first place." So there you go, the Intercooler likes it. I absolutely love it, and most people who encounter it in the flesh can't get enough of it. Job done, I'd say, and then some. If you want to see more vids like this, make sure you subscribe to Intercooler's growing YouTube channel. And to read the first drive piece and tons of other great stories about cars, download the Intercooler app or click on the website now. Cheers for watching, and see you next time.